So we're going to start getting into the research design process. And here we talk about it in terms of marketing research, but it's true for any research project. So the first thing we have to do is recognize the problem. What is the issue we're trying to address for our organization? If it's a marketing research problem, it might be in terms of what kind of product or who is the target customers, will they buy it? How much will they pay for it? It might be those types of questions. If it is a more operations question, it might be related to why are we producing so many defective products. If we are looking at research in healthcare, we might be looking at whether or not a treatment is effective. Does it increase the quality of life? In environmental sciences, we might be looking at whether a particular method for treating weeds is effective without creating a harmful or negative impact. So the first thing we have to do is recognize what is the problem we are trying to solve. Then we need to determine the motivation. Why is it we are trying to solve this problem? What is the impact a solution would have? Often we're looking at making our organization more efficient, more effective. We're trying to create growth. So what is the motivation that's leading us here? If you are a consultant who is helping others do research, you really need to understand their motivation because they may not recognize the underlying problem. They may think the issue is one thing and really it's something else. So in later videos, we're going to look at how do you probe and get that client to understand and recognize really what the underlying issues are. So we need to recognize the problem and determine the motivations so that we can get to what is the heart of the issue. Then we need to determine whether the information already exists. So secondary data analysis is where someone else has already collected the information for a different purpose. This could be that we already collected the information, so we already have the information we need. We just need to analyze it. So maybe we can get what we need out of customer records. If we are trying to better understand who it is goes to our university, well, let's look at what kind of information we've collected already on those who are currently enrolled. Maybe we're looking for information about what's happening in the industry, and so we could go to a third party who is already collecting and selling this information in terms of projections on the success of, let's say it is fine dining restaurants. Okay, so does the information already exist? Then we can conduct what we call exploratory research. So we're trying to better understand what's happening. This can be used for brainstorming. So here we would try to better understand exactly that environment, that situation that we are in. So we don't already have solutions in mind that we're testing out. Instead, we're just trying to get our mind wrapped around it. We use this to clarify the problem, to make sure the research problem is truly going to resolve the issues that we have. And then we can either go external, so we develop a request for proposal. We are going to hire someone else to do the research, or we go internal and we develop a research request and a research proposal. We're going to determine our own research design, the method, the sampling, and the cost. We will collect the data, analyze the data, and write up the report with the recommendations. So in the next couple of videos, we're going to be working through this process from recognizing the problem and probing from management or whomever has raised the issue to get to the heart of the matter, to writing up some of these documents like a RFP. Okay, so we're going to be going through those in the next couple of videos. But this process, and you're using this process regardless of if it's marketing research or other types of research, it uses the scientific method. So we need to understand the scientific method. So the scientific method has a number of steps we want to follow here. And so the first step in our process is to ask the question. Remember, we want to define what is the issue at hand. So suppose we want to know, how do we increase store traffic? How do we get more customers into our business? Well, what we do is we then do some background research. So this is that piece, where we try to figure out if the information already exists or what do we already know. So What have other companies found that increases their store traffic? What has our organization tried before to get more people in? So we're determining whether that information already exists. We're conducting some exploratory research and looking at the situation. What is it we already know? Then from there, what we would do is construct a hypothesis. So perhaps we believe that selling desserts with coffee will increase store traffic. So more people will come in to our corner store if our corner store also has coffee and desserts. Okay, so this is our hypothesis. Well, one of the research approaches can be a test market. We can experiment with it. If we are a second cup, if we are a coffee shop itself, we could see, do we get more people coming into our coffee shop if we also sell brownies? So we could create our test market here, and we're going to sell brownies and cake at one particular location and see what happens. Okay, so we're testing it with an experiment. So here we're doing our test. Other types of experiments and data collection, we could have surveys, focus groups to see if our hypothesis is correct. Once we've collected this data, so here would be the sales of coffee and brownies, we can then analyze it. So what do we observe? Does it match our hypothesis? If not, why? Come up with a new hypothesis. Maybe there's a better way, another way for increasing store traffic if selling desserts didn't do it. So we would analyze our results and draw a conclusion. Did we confirm what we believe? Did we see it? If we did not see what we expected to see, then come up with another alternative and test it out. So we need to ask a question, collect some background information, construct a theory on what should happen, and then test it out, analyze, and draw conclusions. So as we do our research, all of our different types of research, we are following our scientific method.